Hello, this is Lilith Eeckels Garden Girl at TwoPeasInABucket.com. Welcome to another episode of 213 in 2013, your Monday series here at 2Peas. Today I'm going to show you how I created this layout, which is called Brothers, and it's all about my two eldest sons, who are twins, and the best friends ever. Their relationship never ceases to amaze me. Now let me just walk you through all the supplies. I really loved these Teresa Collins stamps when I saw them in the shop, and I thought I'd use them on this layout. They are really pretty. These could be used for project life layouts as well. I've got some enamel dots, which I didn't use at the end. I've got a little bowl here with lots of little wood veneer elements, some stars, some buttons, and I've also taken out some little tags. I have some mists here, so this is grey mist and some India ink, some ink for stamping, and I've got two photos, a bit of ribbon, and then I've got these two pieces of cardstock in a lovely teal, some thickers, these are really nice because they're corrugated, some stickers from Echo Park paper, this is also pattern paper from Echo Park, some Teresa Collins stickers. This pattern paper is also from Teresa Collins, He Said, She Said collection, and some more papers from the Echo Park Brothers collection. I really love the rich blues in this collection and the lovely rich reds as well. It's just really fit the photos perfectly. Here are your 4 prompts. The first one is to use a grid design. The second, make the most of journaling cards. Then double the fun. And the last one is stars and stars. Now let's get started. Now the first thing I did was I chose my background paper, and I went for this lovely grey paper from Teresa Collins, and it's from the He Said, She Said collection. I really loved the colour and the subtle design with the circles. I'm just taking off the little border strip here. The next step I did was to cut one of the Echo Park papers to 11.5 by 11.5 inches, and then I adhered that to the background paper. Now once I'd done this, I noticed that there was something missing, and so I decided to ink the edges of that pattern paper, and that really made the difference. It just made the paper stand out a little bit more, and it was just what I was trying to achieve. So once the edges are all inked, I can stick it down, and I'm going to start creating the grid design. I really love using grid designs, especially when I'm using larger photos. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use 2 photos and mat that onto some blue-grey cardstock. Now this is one of your prompts as well, so there's the grid design, but there's also double the fun. And double the fun here, it just means use 2 photos. So I'm going to continue with the grid design, and here I'm going to cut out a rectangle from some red polka dot paper. This one is also from the Brothers collection from Echo Park paper. And yet again, I'm just going to ink around the edges of the pattern paper. I don't usually ink around the edges, but I just thought with this collection it just worked really well. Now here's another one of the prompts I'm going to be using, and that's to use journaling cards. And I'm just going to cut up lots of little journaling cards from the Brothers collection yet again, and I'm going to use those on my layout. So I'm going to place the red polka dot paper with a photo on it, and I thought I was going to use another paper, which was this lovely star paper from Echo Park as well, and I'm going to cut out another rectangle with that and just add it to the layout. Now once I had added it, I just noticed it didn't work that well, so I'm just going to put it to one side and maybe use it later on a card or in another project. So I'm going to start laying all the journaling cards. And once I'd started, I thought it might be nice to add a little bit of that teal again, the blue-gray, sorry, and I just added some cardstock. And what that does, it just makes those cards pop off a little bit more, and the colors stand out a bit more as well. So I'm going to continue adding journaling cards here, just see how they look until I'm pleased with the overall look. Now what you could also do with your journaling cards is just to cut out the elements on them. I really love this journaling card with the little banners, and the little words on it just match the theme perfectly. And so I just cut them out and inked around all the edges and added that to the left hand side of the photos. And I think it really works well with all the other elements. Here I'm just cutting up another card and using it to add a little bit more of the design. And once again here I'm just cutting up out a little element from the journaling card, inking the edges, and I'll be adding that to the bottom left hand corner of the layout. Now once I've placed all the papers, I'm going to start adding little embellishments. And what I did was I cut out a few little stars from the same grey-blue cardstock, and I'm just going to start adding them. And here I'm creating a visual triangle with those stars, and I'm using a larger and a smaller star. I also cut out one part of the title, which says "And Best Buddies," and the other part of the title I'm going to use a sticker from the sticker sheet from Echo Park paper. And so the title says "Brothers and Best Buddies." I also wanted to add a little element to the upper left right hand corner where you can see the cardstock, and also wanted to add a little bit of texture, and I used these little corrugated thickers for that. And it says B&B, which means brothers and buddies. I'm now pretty happy with how the whole design is coming along, and I'm going to start adhering the elements to the layout. So what I usually do is with the larger elements I will staple them down, and all the smaller elements I will just glue them down. And that way I won't have to fiddle around too much with the papers, and I won't be having to recreate the design. I'm adding a few little foam dots beneath the photos, and I also inked the edges just to make them pop off the page. And I'm going to start gluing down all the little cardstock elements and the little cutout elements that I added earlier on. In my little embellishment bowl I had also placed some tags and little banners, and I'm just going to play around with those and see how they look on the layout. And in the end I decided I'd use the little shipping tag and add that to the right hand side of the photos and just slip it beneath one of the journaling cards. And I will be adding a little bit of journaling onto that little tag. In my bowl I also had a selection of wood veneers, and here I'm using all the little stars. And this is yet again the reminder of one of the prompts, which was to use stars and stars. I also added a little button onto the tag, and I just took out the sticker sheet from Echo Park paper again and just added a few more little stickers. Now what I'm doing here is I'm just backing one of the stickers with a little bit of scrap paper, and that way I can just add some foam dots and it just pops off the page and it won't stick to the page. What's really nice about these Echo Park stickers is that there are little stickers that look like washi tape, and I'm just going to use those on 3 places just to ground the papers and the layout. I'm going to add my title and just stick down all the embellishments. I'm quite happy with how everything looks now. I'm just going to add another sticker here to the top left hand corner. I thought I wanted to add a few of the enamel dots, but the colors just didn't work, and so instead I'm going to add a few splatters of mist, and I'm using the color Shine tinsel from Heidi Swap. I'm also going to add a few little strips of ribbon. I'm just cutting some up, and I'm going to make little loops with them and just add a few to the right, and I'm also going to add a little loop just above the photos. My layout is almost complete, and at the very last moment I noticed I had forgotten to use the Teresa Collins stamps. So I'm just going to take those out. I'm going to choose a few of the words and the text stamps, and I'm using some VersaFine to stamp those onto the layout. And that finishes it off. I hope you've enjoyed this installment of 213 in 2013. My challenge for you this week is to use at least 2 of the 4 prompts, and here's a quick reminder of them. Use a grid design, make the most of journaling cards, to double the fun, use 2 photos, and to use lots of stars. Have a lovely week and see you next month. Bye bye!